What?
Anyway, the sound was also starting to grate my proverbial cheese. All the music was done in this MIDI synthesizer style that made me feel more like I was watching a bad sci-fi movie than kicking some ass.
Really now, which of these sounds more like a fighting game?
But that's not the only sound that bothered me. The voice acting was equally as bad, if not more. It was so bad that even the fighting was unconvincing at best, and even more annoying than Taki's pig squeals from Soul Calibur 2.
You're all show.
Actually, a lot of the time it sounded like the fighters were having really bad sex. The cutscenes are just embarrassingly awful. Aside from some black boxing around the subtitles, as well as some typos and some pretty questionable motion capture, there's also the voice acting, which is all done in English. However, everything is synced up to the Japanese speech, which wouldn't be a problem if you could go to the options menu and switch it to Japanese, but there's no option for it, so you're forced to listen to the English acting. How bad is the English acting?
Yeah? I feel something from you.
You! Bring out the one who's caused us so much grief.
I've got something I want to ask you, old man.
It has nothing to do with you. Stay out of this!
No, that's impossible.
What? What is this power?
Xian. No. The unborn? You again. What did you do to Nagi?
He did not do anything, Yugo. You beat her up in the last stage.
Well, I'm not very good at talking.
Some of the characters also had really inappropriate hints of a British accent, which unfortunately was some of the best voice acting in the game, like for this guy.
It's all over for the dragon. I'm gonna take this guy home and study him.
Unfortunately, the scene eventually breaks down into what could be interpreted as child molestation.
Hey, wait! Oh, you little fox!
How can a 9-year-old girl out-speed-walk a 30-something-year-old man? You just saw an attempt at child molestation and you're worried about how fast the guy runs? What the hell's wrong with you? Actually, I have a theory about that. We don't care. Well, too bad. I'm gonna say it anyway. My theory is that when they had the actors audition for each character, they had them do all the lines at once. That way, they wouldn't have to pay to have them go into the recording studio again to record the final takes, and they could just insert the line breaks wherever they wanted. I guess this is to be expected. According to IMDb.com, a couple of the voice actors had no experience prior to Bloody Roar 4. There were a couple of actors who hadn't worked since Bloody Roar 4, and according to the cast, the person who did the voice for Yuriko was the same person who did the voice for Rebecca Chambers and the original casting for the first Resident Evil game.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
What's going on?
Is that you, Jill? What happened?
But Chris is...
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich. Jill?
Don't open that
sandwich.
Oh, Barry!
So I got to the final boss in arcade mode, which is apparently a constipated Arnold Schwarzenegger. unfortunately the fight is not nearly as intimidating as it looks, so just switch into beast form right away, and then you keep sidestepping and backing away from his attacks, because he has some that will go right through your guard, because he's cheap like that. Then you just sort of wait for him to start using his beast drives, because every time he does, it'll deplete some of his health. Sometimes he'll use one that'll deplete all his health, he'll go into human form, and you just need to hit him once to beat the game. And what happens when you beat the game? Well, you watch another cinematic like this one, you watch the credits roll, you're back at the title screen, you unlock the cinematics. That's it. Oh, and if you're playing this on a more difficult setting or you happen to lose, guess what? You don't get any continues. You get infinite continues for the other fights, but for this one, you only have one shot. If you lose, it's game over, you go back to the opening sequence of the game.
How did they screw this up this badly? Oh, what was that? You thought we were done? Oh, no. Oh, we're just getting started. We haven't even covered career mode yet.
Career mode is a magical land where you select a character, move across a giant map of orbs, fight random people, and I use that term loosely because sometimes you fight the exact same person, and earn DNA points so you can buy special abilities that you will have no idea how to use. Seriously, unless you are familiar with Bloody Roar terminology, you will not understand these abilities nor the explanations for these abilities. Ground damage stall increase? What the hell is that? You can also unlock and use other character special moves for your selected character, which is just an ass-backwards novelty more than it is a great feature. Now how many points you earn depends where you fight on this giant map. As you can see, I am somewhere in Australia. Now not all of these lines always go straight, so you'll find yourself weaving around a lot trying to get to where you want to go. You earn about 200 to 500 points per fight the first time you do them. Every other time it's 50. Why is this important? Well, your overall point total determines what characters you unlock. As your total goes up, you will slowly unlock more hidden characters. There's just one small problem. There aren't enough orbs on the map to get you enough points to get the last hidden character. So you will wind up about 4,000 points short and have to do 50 point fights in order to make up the difference. And it's not even worth it. You know why? Well, this is the last hidden character.
So, this is fun, right? No. It's tedious as hell.
Oh, and did I mention that the game has a bunch of glitches too? You notice what's missing here? Say, a timer, a health bar, all of the above? Notice something odd about the speed of the game? That's right. Reiji's beast form has feathers that fly off of it and cause some graphical slowdown in most of the levels. Watch what happens when you equip a certain ability in career mode. Did you see it? Here, I'll do it again. He stays invisible until he gets hit. That's just scratching the surface of the glitches in this game, so let's take a moment to thank the game testers for all their hard work. I have nothing else to say.
This is SCXCR's roommate. I've played a fair amount of fighting games, including the Dead or Alive series, the Guilty Gear series, Soul Calibur, Virtua Fighter, what have you. And playing Bloody Roar 4 was not unlike taking a bloody shit. At the end, you cried.